I guess we can go into training. I really want to just continue to push how to get listings, how to handle rebuttals, and I want to help everyone just tie up listings. So I don't know who wants to, go back and forth with me. I want to try to get car wash listings today. I want to show you how to get laundry, the way I do it, how to get laundromat listings. Anybody brave to get on a call?
I'll do it, Mike. It's
Awesome.
Jackie.
Let's do it. I'll be the seller, you be the broker. And
Yeah,
I'm calling you. I have a car wash for sale, and so call me and then I'll, let's do it.
Ring, ring.
Hey, how are you? Who's this?
Hey, Mike. It's Jackie Markhorst from Headstone. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I was calling about the car wash you have in South Jersey.
Yeah. I've had it for about 10 years. It's a great car wash.
Very cool. You're interested in selling it, from what I heard.
I'm interested, but only if I get the right price. I'm not really interested if I don't get my number.
Okay, well, why don't we talk about what number do you have in your head, and let's see if we can get to that number.
I was talking to my wife, and we think 10 million is really the number that we want to, that's our bottom line number is 10 million.
Does that include, do you own the property?
I do. Yes, that includes the property.
Any idea what it's valued at?
No. Well, can you tell me what it's valued at?
Completely stumped me on that one.
So if there's a property involved, the property is valued on rent.
Okay.
So basically, before you get on the call, you want to know where this car wash is, what the market rents are in the area. Say this car wash is in South Jersey and the market rents are $40 per foot. All right. The car wash is 3,000 feet. So that's 3,000 times 40. That's 120,000 a year in rent.
Right.
So 120,000 a year, you divide that into a capitalization rate. Now in Jersey, the capitalization rate is higher than New York and the city. From my experience, it's 7 to 9%. I would start higher because that's a lower price. And then if he negotiates, then, obviously you got to state the facts and you got to give him comps. But let's say it's a 9% cap rate, right? So you would do $120,000 into 9%. So if you take out your calculator, 120,000 divided by 0.09, you're looking at 1.33 million for the property. That's what you would say about that. So remember, there's $120,000 in rent. So now let's talk about the business. So let's go back to the conversation and let's talk about the business now. So what would you ask for the business?
I'm trying to do this off the top of my head and not look at my notes.
So you always want to start at the top. You want to start with sales. So, you've been in business for 10 years. What are your gross sales? So, you would get his gross sales, and, if it's say, oh, I do car wash is a very seasonal business. So I don't really go by the month. I go by the year. I do $1 million a year in sales. Okay. So you got the top line number. What's the second biggest expense in the car wash business?
I was going to say utilities and labor.
Labor is the second biggest expense. So you would ask for the labor. It depends if it's there's all different types of car washes. There's a full service car wash. There's an express car wash. There's a self-service car wash. There's a hand wash. So the labor for an express wash is much lower because of the automation is much lower than a hand wash or, a full service wash, which is the machines. So an express wash, the labor should be 25% max. For a full service wash, the labor should be between 30 and 40%. A hand wash, you can go to 45. A self-service car wash, it should be 20%. So you want to get the labor costs, and then everything else is minor. You have the rent. The rent's 120.
Right.
So you want to calculate that rent. You want to calculate that labor. You want to get to that bottom line number. Say the number is 300,000. They do $1 million gross. They net 300,000. What kind of multiple would you put on South Jersey?
I would say at least 5.
5 is, if it's a full service, it could be 5.
Okay.
So you should know before you call anybody, you should always study our listings. You should know all the evaluations, and you should just really, just make sure you have all your homework done before you jump on a call with someone that's trying to sell their livelihood, because they'll hang the phone up on you.
Right.
But I appreciate you jumping on here and doing this in front of everyone. It shows that you really want it. So, good job. And, I appreciate it. And I would like to, anybody else, jump on. Let's keep going. I want to keep training everyone. So who else wants to jump on? I'm going to call out somebody if no one answers.
What's up? How are you?
How are you?
Good.
You're familiar with pizzerias, right?
Yeah.
Let's do the pizzeria.
Ring.
Hello.
This Michael.
Yeah, who's this?
How's it going, Michael? This is Daniel. I'm a business broker over at Headstone. I had reached out via email asking if you would want to sell your business.
Yeah, what could you get for it?
It all depends on your numbers, Michael. But let me ask you, what's your reason for sale?
Been in the business for 30 years, I haven't had a break ever. I haven't taken one vacation my whole life. I'm looking to sell. I want a little, I want a little freedom in my life.
Gotcha. And are you running this place full time, or what's kind of like your involvement?
I literally sleep there.
Gotcha. Okay.
But what do you
Yeah.
do? How do you value pizzas? How can you get me the most amount of money quickly?
So it all depends on your involvement and the kind of numbers that you're doing. So I would kind of want to ask you a little bit more about your business, just to learn more a little bit about it.
Okay, what would you like to know?
So how many employees you have?
I have about 12 employees.
Nice. And do you know the how much are full time and how much are part time?
I have about 8 full-time and 4 part-time.
Gotcha. And what's the square footage of the place?
It's about 1,500 feet.
Nice. And what are you paying in rent?
In rent, I'm paying about 7,000 a month.
Okay. Just curious, Michael, where's this place located?
It's in Bayshore.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just walking my dog.
Is that you're really walking your dog?
Yeah, I'd say that outside.
I-
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. So basically, Daniel, you want to try to compress the first conversation. This is how I like to do it. I like to get his trust right away. You asked me a couple, and don't take anything personal. I want to try. The reason why we're doing this is try to help.
Yeah.
So you asked me a few times my involvement, and I told you that should be one time. You should ask me questions like, as you keep doing this, and Daniel's very good. Daniel closes deals. Daniel's very good. So he does it a good way. But I would ask basically, how many cases, are you more pizza or more restaurant? You find out what kind of business he does. I'm more pizza. How many cases of cheese do you order a week? How many bags of flour? Now, a trick in this business is one bag of flour, and 1 case of cheese equals about $1,000 a week. So if he does 10 bags of flour and 12 cases of cheese, he's doing about 10 to 12,000. Once you ask somebody that, the trust factor just literally, they trust you that much more. So I either ask that, not when I first start, that would be as I'm getting used to this, but I would ask, what are your gross sales? What do you do a week over there? Usually pizzerias, you ask them per week. What do you do a week over there? What do you do a week in the busy times? What do you do a week in the slow times? I do 15,000 a week in the summer when everyone's away, and I do about 25,000 a week in December during Christmas. All right, so you get a gauge of what he's doing. Let's say an average is 20,000 a week. Daniel, what are the two biggest expenses in the pizza business?
Well, obviously payroll and
Yep.
and cost of goods.
Exactly. So your payroll and your cost of goods, your food costs and your paper and all your cost of goods, those are your two biggest expenses. A healthy pizzeria should keep those two numbers combined under 55%.
Okay.
So if those numbers are under 55% of your gross sales, you have a healthy business. Now, of course, rent, which is a fixed cost, is 7,000. I said I'm paying 7,000. So it's 84,000 a year. If I'm doing $1 million a year, which was about 20,000, that's under 10%. Your rent, a healthy rent in the pizza business should be under 10%. So your food cost, your payroll, and your rent all should be under, for a healthy pizzeria, should be under 65%. That's a very good business. That business, I would value it at 1.5 times net income for a pizzeria.
Okay.
So, just to basically go over a conversation, I would get the sales out of them quickly. I would get his payroll, I would get his food cost, I would get his rent. And then from those three expenses, you can figure out what he's making in terms of net income. And then you can hit him with the valuation on the spot. Once you're able to do that, game over.
You know what it is? I ask those little questions just to kind of get them comfortable a little bit and kind of fill out the seller. I don't like going straight into the sales and what he's
That's
doing.
true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, it depends who your audience is. If you're dealing with a difficult guy,
Yeah, for sure.
and you don't want to waste time, you want to just give him the facts. I like to just jump right into it. If you're dealing with a nice guy, I like your tactic of, schmoozing him over a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was very good. You know your stuff, and I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, I appreciate the help.
No problem. So let's go with somebody else. Let's see. Lucy, are you there?
Hey, Mike, I'm here.
Hey, Do you want to do a car wash?
Sure. So I'm going to be the broker. Okay. So ring ring.
Hey, how are you?
Hey Mike, how are you? My name is Lucy Martinez. How's everything going?
Everything's well. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
It was good. Thank you so much for asking. The purpose of my call, obviously, is I got notified by one of my colleagues that you were interested in potentially selling your car wash. So I wanted to get to know you a little bit better.
Sure. We have a car wash. I've owned it. It's been in the family for 50 years. We're doing about 1.5 million in gross. It's pretty plateaued over the last 10 years. We've been doing about 1.5. It's a full service car wash. We have about 15 employees. We don't have a monthly membership program, so that's really the new buyer can really step up and get that reoccurring revenue. We own the dirt, we own the property, we pay ourselves a lower rent than what the property's worth. We just got appraisal on the property. The property's worth about 6 million, and we're looking to sell the whole package.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, what's that number that you have in mind?
I was talking to some people in the industry, I'm trying to figure that out. The property's worth about 6 million. And the business, we're doing 1.5. What do you think, a 1.5 business is worth? Full service.
What is your bottom line?
I haven't really calculated that, what do you think? What is the standard bottom line for a full service?
Based on my knowledge, I believe the profit margins are around 25 to 32%. Would you say that you're around those profit margins?
So I'm going to jump into the conversation for me. So basically, when I'm talking to a seller, I'm always the expert. I'm just saying this just to help you. You do it your own way. You do a great job, Lucy, but this is my advice. You have to think that they need you more than you need them. So why don't we reverse roles? Why don't you be the seller and ask me the same questions, and I'll be the broker and I'll tell you how I rebuttal it. Maybe this will help.
So what was
So I do about 1.5 million. What do you think the bottom line is? And this is how I would answer it. I would say, a full service car wash located in the Southeast, profit margins are, a healthy car wash should be around 30%. What's your payroll?
I wouldn't know, Mike.
Just say about 500,000. 500,000 is 33% of 1.5. So that's a very healthy payroll. Then I would ask the owner, what's your involvement in the business? Are you there every day? Are you running the ship, or do you have a manager that's there?
Yeah, I have a manager that's in place.
Hey, what does he get paid? About 100 grand a year? And he's gonna say, no, it's way too much.
Yeah.
70. All right, I'm just being conservative, Mr. Seller. All right, 70 grand a year. So you're all in at about 570. You're pretty much passive. I can buy this business absentee. I'm thinking in my head, I can buy this business absentee and have a 570 payroll number, which is about 37%, something like that, 40%. So then I would ask him other questions like, what are your utility bills? What's your electric? What's your gas? What are your real estate taxes? What do you pay yourself in rent? What's the market rent? Like, before you get on a call with anyone, you should know everything about this property. You should know what the market rent would be if they own the property, what they're paying themselves, what that gap is, because you can't double dip into property versus business. So all these questions, we can continue to train every week. I could have more trainings about this, but all this stuff is just going to help you tie up these listings better and price them better.